They called him dumb, until his invention changed everything. Microphone hash. Before we begin this story, I want you to take a deep breath, because what you're about to hear will remind you that strength doesn't always come from muscle. Sometimes, it's born from mind, heart, and quiet determination. If you've ever been underestimated, this story is for you. Subscribe right now to the Untold Struggles using the link below. White right pointing backhand index, click here to subscribe. And join a family that believes in stories that matter. The morning sun rose over Brookdale High School, its golden rays glinting off rows of buses and polished cars. Inside the bustling courtyard, laughter echoed, but not the good kind. At the center stood Malik Thompson, a quiet, 16-year-old black student with a backpack full of dreams and second-hand textbooks. His clothes were simple, his sneakers scuffed, and his confidence, carefully stitched together after years of mockery, was fraying fast. A group of classmates, Tyler, Jason, and Chloe, lounged against a wall, their laughter slicing through the morning air. "Yo, Malik." Tyler smirked. "You still doing those nerdy science projects? What's the point, man? You can't even afford a decent laptop." The crowd chuckled. Malik looked down, his hand tightening around his binder. He wanted to speak up, but every time he tried, the words froze somewhere between his chest and throat. Jason snorted. "He's probably gonna fail again like last year. Dude can't even do basic algebra." The laughter grew louder, but what no one noticed was the faint spark in Malik's eyes. He wasn't angry, he was calculating. Every insult, every sneer, he stored it like data, patiently waiting for the right time to respond. At home that evening, Malik's small apartment buzzed with the sound of his little sister humming in the kitchen. His mom, Renee, was still in her nursing uniform, slumped on the couch after a double shift. "Malik, baby, how was school?" she asked, exhaustion lacing her voice. He hesitated. "It was fine, Mom." But it wasn't. It hadn't been fine for a long time. Behind closed doors, Malik worked harder than anyone else. He didn't have tutors or money for prep classes. He studied under the dim light of a flickering lamp, with a cracked laptop that shut off every hour. Still, he had one dream: to win the state science fair. Not just to prove himself to the bullies, but to lift his family out of struggle. The theme this year: innovation for a better world. And Malik had an idea, one that would soon shock everyone. A solar-powered water purification device, built from recycled parts and old wires. Something that could literally save lives. But when he presented the concept to his teacher, Mr. Harlan, the man frowned. "That's ambitious, Malik," he said carefully. "Maybe pick something simpler. You don't want to set yourself up for disappointment." Malik nodded, but in his heart, the words only fueled his resolve. Pause for a second. If you've ever had someone tell you that your dreams were too big, that you weren't good enough, hit that subscribe button right now. Join the Untold Struggles and let's remind the world that faith and fire are stronger than fear. White right pointing backhand index, click here to subscribe. The weeks that followed were brutal. Tyler and Jason found new ways to mock Malik daily. They'd bump into him in the hallways, whisper genius with mocking laughter, and even post edited photos online calling him Professor Fail. But Malik didn't fight back. He watched. He waited. And he worked. Late at night, he scavenged for old circuit boards and wires from the local junkyard. He'd test, fail, and rebuild again. His little sister, Amara, would sometimes sit beside him. "Why do you try so hard, Malik?" she'd ask softly. "Because, Amara, one day, they won't be laughing." But something unexpected happened. Chloe, one of the bullies, began to notice. She watched him from afar one afternoon as he tested a prototype behind the school. The way his eyes focused, the way he muttered calculations under his breath, she realized he wasn't dumb. He was brilliant. "Hey, what's that?" she asked cautiously. Malik hesitated. "It's something that could help people." For a moment, she didn't have a comeback. Instead, she nodded, quietly impressed. But Tyler and Jason weren't about to let things change. The day of the regional science fair arrived. Students from across the county filled the gym with projects, lights, and nervous energy. Malik's booth stood modestly in the corner, his solar purifier gleaming under the overhead lights. Judges wandered around, clipboards in hand. Malik took a deep breath. This was it. But as he turned to grab his presentation notes, Tyler and Jason slipped by his table. They poured water into the power supply, grinning. Minutes later, when the judges approached, Malik turned on his project, and sparks flew. Smoke billowed. The purifier shut down. Gasps filled the room. The judges shook their heads and walked away. Tyler whispered loudly, "Guess his brain short-circuited too." Malik's chest tightened. The laughter returned, the same cruel laughter he'd lived with for years. He went home in silence that night, tears mixing with rain as he walked the empty streets. But when he entered the apartment, Amara ran up to him, holding her tablet. "Malik, look. The judges posted online. They said your idea had potential. They want to see your designs again next week." He stared at her in shock. There was hope. There was still a chance. For the next 7 days, Malik rebuilt everything from scratch. He worked with fire in his heart. He studied mechanics, soldered connections, and tested power outputs until dawn. His mom left small notes on his desk. "Proud of you. Keep going. You're not what they say, you're more." By the time the next fair arrived, Malik was ready. The event was hosted in a downtown convention center. Cameras, judges, and even news reporters filled the space. When it was Malik's turn, the room fell silent. He stepped forward, voice trembling but strong. "This device," he said, "can take dirty water and make it drinkable using nothing but sunlight and recycled materials. I built it because I know what it's like to not have enough." As he poured muddy water into the purifier, the audience leaned in. Moments later, clear, pure water dripped into the glass. The judges froze, stunned. The crowd gasped. Malik smiled faintly. Across the room, Tyler and Jason exchanged wide-eyed looks. Chloe covered her mouth, this time in disbelief. By the end of the day, Malik's project had gone viral. Local news stations called him a teen innovator. His principal shook his hand. Even Mr. Harlan teared up, muttering, "You proved us all wrong, son." But just when things seemed perfect, a dark twist emerged. Days later, a mysterious online post appeared. Photos of Malik's project. Claims that he stole the design. Anonymous messages suggesting he'd copied a real inventor's work. The same classmates who mocked him began whispering again. The same administrators who praised him started avoiding eye contact. Malik was summoned to the principal's office. "Malik," the principal said carefully, "we need to investigate this. Until then, your prize money and scholarship are on hold." He froze. "But I didn't steal anything. You've seen my work." The man sighed. "I know, son, but rules are rules." As Malik stepped outside, he saw a car parked across the street. Inside, Tyler and Jason high-fived, their phones glowing. They'd leaked fake evidence to discredit him. But what they didn't know was that Chloe had recorded everything. The setup, the sabotage, the confession. And as she uploaded the footage online with the caption, "The Truth About Malik Thompson," the world began to take notice. The video went viral. The bullies were exposed. And Malik. He didn't just reclaim his name, he became a symbol of perseverance. But just when he thought the storm was over, an unexpected email arrived. It read, "We've seen your work. We want to offer you a full scholarship to MIT. But we also need to talk, because there's something bigger behind what happened to you." Malik stared at the screen. Bigger. How big? The story wasn't over. It was only the beginning. Microphone hash sometimes. Being underestimated is the best gift the world can give you. Because when they call you dumb, you get to show them brilliance. When they laugh, you build. And when they try to break you, you rise. Speech balloon, if this story moved you, don't just scroll away. Hit like, drop a comment, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the Untold Struggles. White right pointing backhand index, click here to subscribe. Because our stories, your stories, deserve to be told.